Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. I got no qualms with it. My cat might have something to say. She decided she's going to be sitting on me right now.
Well, if you want me to go first, I have an idea for my character as well.
No, I can't. Unless you want to, I don't care.
No, I don't give a shit either, so go right ahead. I just thought, if your cat's comfortable.
No, it's just you might hear her purring over the mic. That's
I don't mind that.
Free cat views.
We all love our animals. Well, I propose that I had just gotten a job to go take care of someone's plants, so I'm on my way to some high-rise building to go and babysit their plants for the weekend. Oh, fun. Yes. Figured I'd give you some room to play around there. Okay. I guess I just said that because I don't know the area, and I just figured the rich area was. Okay. 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 I will go and ring the doorbell. Hi, I'm here to take care of your plants. I'm Mel Weird. You hired me just about 2 weeks back. Are you Valentina? And I will walk on in, I guess. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna walk in. I have all my gardener's equipment and book bag in my back, and I will knock on her front door. I guess I'm in there, aren't I? So I will ask her what all she wants me to do, and we'll get the details all situated here. You show me around where the plants are. Hmm. Oh, no problem.
I don't actually. Oh, there it is. I was going to be like, I don't even see the macro for the rolling thing, but there
Yeah.
it is.
Where's the macro?
Top left.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, open a new tab. Okay. And
you can actually read it this way.
where is this macro? I'm trying to find it. On my token.
It's not on your token, though. The button's up on the very top left.
Oh, okay.
I just see one token. Or button.
I'm not seeing this macro. Maybe I don't have it put in on my end. Oh, I see it now. And then it's minus. -1, submit. And then the check digit modifier is what? Okay. 0. And submit. Let us see. Perception is a 4. So. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yep. Mhm. Well, what's this rooftop look like area? Do any of them have any specific dietary things that I need to, or poisons that I should be aware of, ma'am? I know that with higher income clients, that's always a possibility to be aware of for me. So, okay. See. Would that be under Celestial? Or. Trying to see where the cult skill would be. Okay. 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 Okay, so I need. Okay, let me figure this out. So some. Okay, so just a base roll, no modifiers or anything. And then is there a check digit modifier or? Okay. 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 I'm gonna go over to them and check out them and ask her about what she does to care for them. Just so I can get an idea of what she wants me to do on my day-to-day tasks. Oh, okay. Of course, that's fine. I've always, for any client, I go above and beyond. This is not only my job, but something I very much enjoy doing. So, okay, let me see what that is. Perception, detect lies 2. Okay. My perception is a 4. Hmm. Well, is there any other big plants other than these that you want me to look after? Or is there any other in the garden? This is quite the vast garden. I'm very impressed by it. No, I, I agree. I've always dreamt of kind of, this is gonna sound morbid, an apocalypse of having the world be overgrown by the vegetables again and the earth reclaimed. I just think it's a beautiful thing when you see the world retaking its natural state. That's no problem. I'd love to. Okay. And I will do so. Well, what do you mean by tick? Because I have interest, that's for sure, but uh, hmm. Learning more about the Earth itself, I guess, and what it all entails. I think there's a lot of mystery to it that we haven't fully realized, that science hasn't fully discovered. And, I don't believe fully in that science is the only thing out there, so.
This is true. So with that, she opens her door up a bit and she says, one more thing. There's a book. Are you a reader?
Very much so. I love a good dive into any type of fiction or non-fiction, literary, or of any sorts.
Okay. Give me a second. I'm going to test a few things here. I want to know a little bit more about this character. Some things will be a little bit more dynamic where I don't necessarily have the answers up front. I think it adds to the sandbox. So it's my theory. We'll see how it plays out.
So do all the rolls follow the same kind of outline where the dice section of the thing, you want that to be higher so that you succeed, and then the check digit is how much you succeed or fail by?
Yes, but the dice, we want it to be lower, not higher. You want it to be lower than your stat plus your skill, effectively.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I was figuring when I rolled that 9.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why that -1 modifier is a bonus, because it makes your total okay.
Now, there is one difference, and the one difference is because it's a D66 system. If you roll a 666, that matters, and if you roll a 111, that matters. So make sure when you have your totals, you kind of just keep an eye on that, and you hover. If you got low numbers, make sure that you roll I'm doing the same, so you're not at risk or anything. But
dice explode, or how do you get 3?
No, the check digit and the 2 other dice. If
okay.
666 or 111. So 656 is a really bad number, but depending on who you are and what's going on, a 666 might be a good thing in certain cases, or 111 might be a good thing in certain cases. So.
Fun fact about the number 666, not the actual number of the beast.
Yeah.
That's 616.
There you go. Which is the Marvel Universe, right?
That's true. That's a big reason the guy that called for, you're devil worshippers, or whatever, and then the Iron Maiden song came out, and then that was the number that everyone was freaking out about.
She hands you a book. You notice that it's old, and looks almost more like a tome than a book. And she says, it's not light reading, but I like the way you think. Tell you what, if you get through that, and it interests you, we'll talk more.
Okay, I can agree to that. I will definitely take into consideration that this looks like a very old book, and I love me some old history. So,
and
I appreciate it.
I'm gonna give you one more chance to test perception now that the door's been hung open for a few minutes.
Okay.
Give you a chance to see the actual proper old lady and not the one that killed her and is pretending to be her standing in front of you.
No.
Oh god, where did the roller go? I'm sorry.
It's okay. Just remember to click on your token.
Yeah.
And then it should pop up again.
Oh, there we go. Okay. That's an 8 and a 5.
And I think your perception's a 4, so it's even with the modifier. You do get a brief peek in. You just see that it looks like she prefers to have she has a lot of antiques. That's what you notice.
I'm not trying to invade her privacy.
Exactly.
She's a client,
Yeah.
so I appreciate what kindness she showed.
And with that, you see her come back out with a suitcase. She says, I'll be leaving town for a few weeks. You can reach me on the number I gave you.
Sounds like a plan. I hope you have whatever you're out to do a well time with it. And all goes well. Safe travels and all that.
Safe travels. Alright, so we're going to cut scene over to Vincent now. What was your idea for a starting scene?
Also going to be work related. Vince is going to be just sitting in the drive-through window, having a really particularly slow night. He's just kind of doodling, sketching, just the skyline or whatever he's seeing out the window. And then I'll give you a choice here. Either just a random person either drives up or comes running up to the window needing help, or his buddy, whose name I can't remember. I think I said Tyler? Same thing. Someone's coming up that needs something, and which one of the two people, doesn't really matter which.
Your buddy is the one that's
he's made less healthy life decisions.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure that's who we got here. We're certainly doing something with that, but I'm gonna check something here first. So just to recap on that, because I awesomely didn't unmute my audio for the first part of the stream. So for that first scene, it was Mel going to a new client. He's a gardener. He was going to meet with Valentina Sicari. He met with her. She took him up to the garden on the rooftop of her high-rise, showed him what needs to be done, and then he moved forward from there. 1 second here before we move into scene 2. All right. So Quinn. Your low-life friend. And then I have to test Mythic. Okay. So we'll start with you and Rhonda, I think. It's
Sure.
The start of... This is... You're a night shift guy, I take it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the start of your shift. Rhonda's... You're probably sweeping or something like that. It's mildly quiet for the cutover. It's probably like 9 p.m., I'll say. Rhonda, she's one of those people that's just a breath of fresh air in a lot of ways. I'm guessing Vincent's younger, like 20 something. Is that?
Yeah.
She's probably a 30 something, but she's one of those people that doesn't almost fit the job. Like you'd expect a 30 something manager of a place like this to be, well, just like driven into the ground, but she's incredibly optimistic, right, in her job.
I know exactly what you mean.
And she also, you know, like she's just in every way, she doesn't look worn by it. She's relatively in shape. She's you know, relatively, like, she's probably one of those people that people say, why are you working this job? Why aren't you doing something better? Like,
It inspires everyone around her to do better so they don't disappoint her.
yeah, but she's the night person though, so she hasn't even, she's not even the store manager or anything. And the store manager is a big jerk. I think that much we know. But when you finish your sweeping, she's just come out from rinsing off or mopping the bathroom floors. She wheels it out and she's humming as she goes. And then she looks at me and smiles. And just as she's about to say something, you hear like a loud knock on the drive-through window.
And so he was just sweeping up. He was starting to head towards Rhonda himself. He was going to say something, but kind of like pauses in confusion. He like turns his head back over his shoulder, looks towards the window. It's like, I didn't hear the chime for the pull-up. And he just like holds up a finger to Rhonda and excuses himself. And he like dashes that direction.
Okay. As you get to the door, you kind of just see the upper torso of Kyle, and his face.
A little bit of the enthusiasm just drains slightly. Like, he's happy to see him, but he's like, oh god, this cannot be a good thing. It's like his internal monologue. Heads over, unlatches it, lifts the window.
Hey man, in a very like awkward way, like he's trying to pretend this is normal, that he's knocking on the drive-through door to talk, drive-through window to talk to you.
What did you do now?
I need some help.
He kind of like he readjusts himself so he's fully blocking as much of the window as he can. He's not the biggest guy though, and kind of like sticks his head out there and hushes down a bit. It's like, this is really not the greatest time. Can it like?
No, it can't wait. Look, I need you to take something right now. I need you to put it in your car. Just for the night.
Oh my god, I know I'm gonna regret this. Is the cops looking for it?
No, not the cops. Look, man.
Okay, well, I've just started, but I can't do it. But he's shuffling in his pocket right now, and he just like passes his keys out the door.
All right. He goes to reach. Give me a perception roll, and I'll give you a -2 modifier on this, just because it makes sense.
I assume the check digit was nothing.
Oh, interesting. You got a.
Oh, I almost rolled.
And it can, I'm not gonna put in advanced scripts, but that would have been a 1 and a 2. I think a check digit 2 means you notice it later, but you do notice it. He reaches for the key and takes it from you real quick. He says, "Thanks, man." He's like, "I'll be right back with these." And you see as he shuffles off, he has a duffel bag with him. You see him open your trunk, and he kind of looks around and then throws a duffel bag in and then shuts the trunk quickly. Like, you're kind of viewing him doing this from the drive-through window.
Yeah.
And he kind of races back. He's limping a little bit on his way back. And he gets back to you.
It's gonna be good conversation had when I get off. We've talked about this, man.
He just shakes his head and then says, "I owe you one. I owe you a big one." And with that, he hands you back your keys.
And Vince will take them, and he'll also like pass through just a cheap meal of some sort, just like a burger and fries, so that it looks like he at least was servicing a customer. He'll have rung himself up an order and pay for it himself later. But
all right. With that, and that's probably not super abnormal to hook up your friends at a fast food joint, so don't worry about that.
Especially when your friends are kind of shady.
Yeah.
it's more he's just kind of covering the fact that he's doing very much sketchy, seedy things. They're like, no, I was just providing a customer.
Right. Well, you were servicing a customer, so you're not lying. In a sense, the customer just happened to be your friend, and the service was a job.
Okay, so what we're gonna do here is give me another perception roll, Vincent. This one, no modifier.
And I've got a perception of 6, so I think that fails then.
Okay. You
If I'm understanding how these rolls work.
you do.
Because I don't really have a skill to go with perception.
Correct. It's the one thing I think I've house ruled.
You have muted yourself, Bob.
Oh. Luckily, I didn't mute my stream that time. Just my you guys. What I was saying was, you don't have the skill. It's one thing I house ruled in the past was like added an investigation type of skill or notice skill to the game, because I think it's needed. But we'll deal with that another time. Regardless, gotcha. And I can just do that with modifiers. I will give you that. You see, like, for a brief moment, you know, when like a silhouette, when something like a crow or something swoops by near you, you can see like the silhouette of it,
just like the shadow.
Yeah, the shadow of it, like, blocks out the light in your direction for a moment. You sense that for a second, and then you hear the caw of a crow, and he gets paranoid. And he kind of tosses back the keys and swipes the burger. He says, "Thanks, man. I owe you." With that, he starts hobbling away.
Take care of yourself.
And with that, I think Rhonda will kind of be... When you turn around, Rhonda's a little bit closer, and she says, one of your friends?
Yeah, but look, you didn't have to mop the bathroom. I was going to get there next. Very much just deliberately trying to change the subject.
It's not like I had anything better to do.
Oh yeah, I know, but that's more for, like... That's the minion's job to do.
You say so. She says. Oh, and you have something on your hand there. She just motions and then kind of walks away.
Oh? It looks down.
It's red and wet. You remember that's exactly like when he reached for the keys to you? And you notice that looking down at the keys, you see more red on the keys. It's blood.
Jesus Christ, Kyle. He stuffs his hand back in his pocket, and while it's in there, like, he turns it a little bit to, like, really give his hand a wipe down, effectively using the inside of his pocket as much of a napkin as he can.
Okay.
And then, I guess, head off to a sink to actually properly wash, because with Kyle, you never know what's in any of such fluids.
For sure.
Also, fast food industry.
Yeah. That's fair.
At that point, it's a little bit of an afterthought. It's like, oh, right, plus I'm at work, so, you know, hygiene's important.
That's true.
It's more, oh shit, my friend is bleeding and was limping and needed to stash something in my shitbox car.
How do you know it was his blood?
I'm making assumptions at this point.
That's true.
Okay. I think we're going to cut back briefly to Mel here. What would Mel do for fun after his nightlife, or in the nightlife, I guess? Like anything out or return home?
I'm going to return to my place with the book and take a quiet night in, reading a bit of it.
Okay. You run into an initial barrier when you open the book and start trying to read it.
Okay.
It's in Latin.
I know Latin.
Do you?
Yeah. It's a big part of the whole cryptozoology and, like, all that mythic stuff. Okay. So I am well versed in that.
I will buy it. Why don't we say that it's... If that's the case, why don't we say that you're... you have to kind of translate some of it.
Okay.
right? Like some of it's like
Yeah.
very straightforward Latin, and some of it is using terms that seem old.
The big thing is Latin has like 2, maybe 3 versions of it,
Yeah,
and it varies. So
yeah, exactly. Why don't you give me a test on? We'll get you to go ahead and test your intelligence and then cryptozoology. So it's your intelligence +3.
okay, so +3. Oh, that's not a plus sign. That is a equal sign. Okay.
That is good. Oh, sorry, you wouldn't actually test the. You wouldn't add the 3 to it, but that's okay. So what'd you roll? 5 and a 4. And what's your intelligence is 6, right?
Let me make sure. Intelligence is 6.
So 9. Yeah, it passed. Okay, so that's why it rolled correctly. um, so, in the future, you don't have to add any modifier. You can just kind of count. Like your target number would be different.
Oh,
check,
okay.
Check digit, your dice roll.
Okay. Yep.
So, anyways, you're able to go through it, but yeah, you definitely are running into some language pieces here, and what you factor is this is really old tome, like really old.
Okay.
Yeah. It's probably worth a pretty penny on the black market.
Okay.
So I'm surprised that she parted ways with it so easily.
Well, I'm gonna try and cross-reference the parts I don't understand to see if I can, like with the alphabet, any of the alphabets that are in any of them, see if I can't piece together it. Because now I'm invested into this like mystery of this weird spooky book.
Okay.
I'm going to hyperfixate on it.
What you find fascinating is what it seems to focus on are topics that you've come across, especially someone that dabbles into anything
Mystical or
alternate, I guess we'll say. You run in, you're gonna run into people claiming to be witches. You're gonna run into you're gonna run into all sorts, and you've certainly encountered your fair share of people claiming to partake in mysticism, sorcery, etc., witchcraft. What's fascinating about this is that it's age, right? And what you gather from the author is that this is written by a name that you recall from history, actually. It's someone infamous within the Knights Templar.
There's Joan of Arc. There's what else was there? Fuck. I'm going to look up the who was all in the. Because I'm sure there's a list somewhere. I'm sure I have a book somewhere in my house about it. So I'm gonna go pick up a book from my library and see if I can't find any of the names to cross-reference there to see if that holds any validity. Look up their stories.
Okay. We're gonna assume that's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
While that's happening, one thing I didn't do, I gotta test something here real quick. For the scene. No. You start to find yourself becoming overly tired all of a sudden.
Okay. Well, I guess
you're in the middle of like your research when this happens.
I'll probably be laying down on my sofa while reading, so I'll probably drift off.
Okay.
See if my mind can't recuperate a bit. Who knows, maybe I'll get a dream that might take meaning.
Okay. You do have a dream. It's more like a nightmare, really. You find yourself running from something. Whatever it is, it's winged, monstrous, and chasing you through the streets of Seattle, and then into open fields and an open glade. I'll allow you to test just like a flat will to see if you can force yourself into some sort of lucid decision.
Okay.
About how to address this. No matter what you do, when you look back, you can never see anything beyond its silhouette. Is that lower than your will?
Yes, my will is 6.
For one particular action, you can transform this whatever way you wish.
I'm going to I'm going to stop and let the thing catch up to me. Because if this is a dream, then I know I probably won't die from it. And that's me taking a gamble, but...
You turn and face the thing, and just as it starts to swoop down and get closer, you see it has almost like bestial features for the first time, and you wake up. Your eyes shoot open.
Now that was an interesting dream. Curious as to what that beast was.
You feel a bit of cold air, a gentle breeze.
Mm-hmm.
Your eyes kind of glance over in the direction of your window. You notice your window's open. The book's gone.
Fuck. Someone. I have a cat, so would I have like a cat camera or something in the house, maybe? So that when I'm at work, I can, see if it's around.
Yeah. Yep. That's fair.
So I'm going to go to the cameras.
Okay.
See if I can't see if it passed by that area.
Alright. We'll assume this is a basic... Do you have computer use on your sheet? Computers? Did I forget to give that to you?
I do not, I don't believe. Nope, but I do have tracking.
I was gonna give everyone like a Computers 3 because it's just
Okay.
this was written in the 90s and
Yeah.
When computer use wasn't every day, but the basics of technology are way more common now than even 10 years ago. So why don't you go ahead and test it with a -3, and that will be pretty sure it's intelligence, but let me just make sure that that's what it lands under. Computers, ethereal intelligence. Yep. That's what it is.
Okay. My intelligence is 6. gets a 0 on the dice, and then check digit is a 2.
Okay. So it takes you a
You're
moment.
muted.
All good. So it takes you a moment to sift through the camera. I'm gonna quickly look up something here. You see the silhouette of somebody near the window, just the positioning of your camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the oddest thing. You see your cat jump up onto you in a very precise manner,
Mm-hmm.
nudges the book down onto the floor, and then begins nudging the book to the window. Once it gets to the window, the door opens. Or not door, the window opens. And you see the figure reach through. They have to go all the way in, kind of with their torso. So it kind of flipped over the window. They reach down onto the floor where the book is, and they kind of pull themselves back up.
Okay. Oh, is the figure humanoid?
Yes.
Okay.
Quite so.
Well, I'm gonna look at my cat weird, and then I'm gonna get up and go out to that window and start looking around the area, looking for trail marks or tracks.
Okay. You go out to look for tracks, and why don't you have tracking, so why don't you go ahead and roll that for me? See how you do. Oh,
3,
that's
4.
good. Yeah, so I think what it is so it has been an abnormally warm,
It's been wet.
yeah, exactly. It's been warm and wet, but despite being wet, it hasn't been like that rainy all day gloomy Seattle that you're used to. It's actually been kind of a glorious warm streak, not heat streak, but warm streak through Seattle. And when it's raining like at night, like times where it's very convenient for it to rain, which is now, right? So it's recently wet, and you see some muddy boot prints taking off. You probably live safe to say you live in the city proper?
I live in the countryside of it, like just right outside.
Okay.
Because I figure I'd have someplace I'd be able to do my gardening at home.
Yeah. Okay. You actually find truck tracks, like tire tracks that clearly spun off quickly in your driveway, or just near your driveway, I should say.
Okay, well, is there a what are they called? Stoplight nearby?
Yeah, there's one just down the street a ways. Just down the road.
Those usually have a camera on them to track, passersby for the police, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna call up the police and see if I can't figure out where. I tell them the item I had was stolen from me, and I was wondering if they could pull up the footage from. I found where the truck tires pulled out.
Okay. I think what they'll say is they say, we'll send someone out. Come
Thank
take a
you.
look.
I'll be here, and I'll hang up and annoyedly go back inside and wait for them to arrive.
No, that's perfect. So I think you end up wasting like a whole bunch of time that night. They come in, they ask you a bunch of BS questions, and they check out your place, and it sounds like there's a whole bunch of doubt, and they tell you about the paperwork that's required to pull one of those cameras, and they ask you for the worth, and maybe that's what I need to know. What do you think the worth and the value is of what you lost?
Well, it's a history piece that was given to me by a friend. I'd say somewhere around, and I'll pull up the number that I had found. I'd say the number.
Okay.
I mean, this was a really important piece to me. I need this piece back. I understand that you guys have some red tape we have to get around, and I'm fully willing to cooperate here.
I think this guy, this is the kind of guy that they don't send their A squad or their detectives really out for this sort of thing. They send a beat cop a bit more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just looks tired, and he's like, "All right, well, you're gonna have to come into the precinct then and sign some paperwork in order for us to get the access to this camera." And it's already like 2 a.m. by now. What time all this is going on?
Yeah. Well, I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I'm kind of frustrated because I was just robbed. And I'm like, I just want this over with, and I'm not gonna be get into sleep now that I know that someone has been broken into my house. So I'm just gonna. Can I come down now? Is the precinct open?
So with that, he nods. He says, "Yeah, I guess so." He doesn't seem super interested in this anymore.
Listen, I get it. You're just doing your job, and I'm gonna go get my keys to my car and drive on out there.
Okay. I think we're gonna cut back now. So I think for this, we're gonna do another another small scene at the end of your shift, towards the end of your shift, Quinn.
Sure.
Yeah. So there's a scene, and now okay, and just gotta check one thing. Okay, so you've just finished the end of your shift, and I think Rhonda's going home too. She looks at you and says, "Any exciting plans, or just sleep?"
I have plans, and I hope they're not exciting.
She smiles. This is the one time she actually looks legitimately exhausted. Just towards the end of the night, you can see her age a bit more in her face. She says, "Yeah, me too. I hope to catch up on some sleep."
Yeah, I'm hoping that's in my cards too, but, well, other things may have gotten in the way. I'll find out as soon as I get a chance to check.
Alright, and with that she says, "I'll see you at the next shift."
She got her own car, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, if she doesn't, like, I totally offer her a lift, but if she's good and I know it, then it's, yeah, have a good night and good luck with the sleeping.
It's that time of day too, where it's like it's dawn basically. Like the sun's just starting to crest. It's a really pretty view, pink sky.
Yeah, and he's.
What
Sorry?
are your plans?
Is she asking me this?
No, I'm asking you this.
First thing I'm gonna do is go to the trunk and open up that bag and see what's in it, and then we'll assess from there.
Okay. Gonna test one thing. Ooh, I got an idea. I'm doing some of this obviously on the fly, so forgive me for the long pauses before the scenes. What it does is it prevents any pausing during the scenes. So,
I understand what's going on, so here, scene generation, effectively.
I think what you see is like this really old looking bone knife, and the tip of it in particular seems to be like coated in like a dried, almost like black and red. It smells to open it.
Is there a bunch of other stuff around too, or was it just this knife in a duffel bag? Or is it actually not a duffel
bag? It's filled with stuffing.
Okay.
So it takes you a minute. You open it up, you feel the stuffing right away. You're like, what the hell?
Like shredded newspaper kind of deal, packing peanuts.
Yeah, packing peanuts.
Okay, then it's gonna pull out the keys and see if it's by now whatever was on them. If I haven't washed and wiped enough of it off, it's probably got some dried on stuff too. Is it like the same color?
Same color as what?
As the dried blade?
Sorry, is what the same color?
Is any of the blood that was on my keys and stuff, is it the same color now as the dried blood on the blade?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of, okay. Okay, that's good thing he hasn't touched this knife. He re-zips that back up, heads into the car, and is going to give Kyle a call. Like he
Goes
starts
right
it up and is getting ready to drive away and gives Kyle a call if he can.
Goes instantly to voicemail.
So he just... Yeah, it's Vince off work now. Give me a call. And then just hang up. Doesn't... No bye or nothing. And he's heading back home by taking a scenic route. He's just going for a drive.
Go ahead and give me a perception roll -2.
I think I make that. Because perception is 6.
Yeah. Yes, you do. You're being followed. There's a car trailing behind you.
Fuck. Damn it, Kyle. What the hell have you gotten me into now? So yeah, he's definitely not going home. He's taking a much more scenic route. And...
Okay.
Yeah, I'll come up with something as we're driving if there's not any input or anything. He's probably going to just pull into... Or if I pass by anywhere that's got like a security office or a cop car or something in the parking lot, he's just basically going to pull in like beside that or into a cop shop if I happen to pass one of those around. Not going to go in or anything. He's just...
I'll spare you on that. The car that's following you, the lights start going red, blue, red, blue, red, blue.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah, pull over.
Okay. You see a cop get out. He's
Really make sure while he's pulling over that he's like wiping the rest of the keychain off, making sure there's nothing stuck to it.
He gets out, and you see his partner gets out as well. She's in the passenger seat. He's in the driver. They both approach the car with lights, doing that annoying shining the light in your face the whole time as you go.
Squint, hand up. Kind of like shading his eyes.
Yeah.
Windows already rolled down.
License and registration.
Oh, yeah. And fishes it out, hands it over.
While you're doing that, you notice that she's... her lights are on the passenger side as well.
So they're on both sides of the car.
Where are you coming from? He says.
Work?
Are you still dressed in your uniform, by the way, out of character?
Oh, more than likely.
Okay.
There's a unit. Well, I guess fast food places all have uniforms, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he's like undeniably still in said uniform.
Probably smells like deep
grease.
Fry. Yeah.
There's no mistaking where he's coming from.
So he says, yeah, where's work? Even though we literally can tell by your uniform. And with that, I assume you've handed over your license and registration to him at that point.
Yeah. McDonald's, I guess, is offhand.
Yeah, we'll just say you name the joint.
Generic American chain.
Yeah, movies, whatever.
Pluckers.
Yeah. So he says, which one? Which one, Vincent? He says, as he's kind of looking over your license.
Rattles it off pretty quick.
Oh, okay. Right downtown. Interesting.
Not really.
Curious, Vincent. Curious if you know or have seen someone we're looking for Kyle King.
What did you do?
We'd like to check your trunk, if that's all right with you.
Why? He kind of like reaches down. He's like reaching for the pop the trunk button. He doesn't push it, but
just to make that typical flex that they do, he's like, he kind of reaches like, hey, hands up, hands where I can see.
He freezes and his hands come up.
He's like, one hand down, open your trunk, please.
Can I at least know what's going on? And he like hands slowly and pushes the trunk lever thing.
You see her go to the back. He's still with you. He says, we can discuss that later if it's appropriate. And so she comes back after a minute and gives a nod to him, and he says, can you please step out of the car, Vincent?
Just slumps his head and shoulders and just sighs. Yeah. And slowly makes all the necessary manipulations of the door and seatbelt and stuff to get out. Without.
I think the camera pans out, with as Vincent hears, you're under arrest. You have the right to, and it kind of pans out and fades as that's happening. Are you guys good for a bit longer? How are you doing?
Oh yeah. I'm doing good. Well, if you are.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying this.
I would take a minute to go and make myself another drink, but I'm good.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we take a minute, and we can do a bit of Be Right Back, and we'll rejoin. And I got a little bit longer. I don't want to go too long. I do have work and I'd like to get some working out in tonight too. So.
Oh, that's no problem.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and. All right, I'll see you very soon.
Okie doke. Oh, God's back. Sure.
All right, let's go ahead and dive back in. So we're gonna continue, I think, with the next scene. So we're gonna change it where it's back and forth. We're gonna stick with Vincent for this next little piece. Vincent, the two detectives, you learn are Detective Cordy and Detective Bradford, male, female, respective. They kind of leave you to stew for a bit in a holding room, and then finally they come back in. Would you have done anything like demanded a lawyer or anything like that?
Probably not.
Okay.
He said, I ain't done nothing wrong.
Yeah. They, I think just he comes in at the beginning. Or like, at this point. So they've left you stew for a couple hours. He comes in. He, begins to pace around the room. He says, tell me how you know him.
School?
Yeah, and I know lots of people in school. You know, it doesn't mean they come visiting me at my window at work.
Do you never have friends that come by at random inconvenient times?
I don't have lowlifes for friends.
Yeah, well, you can't exactly choose what other people's life choices for. All you can do is try and help them find their way out.
Is that what you were doing when you took that bag?
Hey, I never took anything.
Look, we had a witness. You passed him your keys out the window. He went over and put the bag in your car.
It's not exactly the same thing.
We'll see about that. You know you're...
Can you at least tell me what's going on?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you. Your friend there. Your friend's a suspect. And this weapon that you had in that bag, that's the murder weapon. You want to know who the victim is?
I don't think there's any way he actually killed anybody. That's just not him.
Not just anyone. A kid. 14 years old.
Yeah, see, now I know you're lying.
He looks really pissed off. If you want, you can give me a detect lies.
No idea what that is, but I'm assuming I didn't do it with an 8.
Perception's what for this character?
Perception is 6.
Yeah, that's a pass, I think. I think you have detect lies, don't you?
I don't see detect lies. I have fast talk.
I have
But-
detect lies.
Oh, I was mixing up the sheets. Yeah. You sense something. You can't really sense what, but if you choose not to believe the guy, you just choose not to believe him. But you can't really pick up any discerning note of where he's lying and where he's not. You just trust fully that your friend would never do anything like that, right?
Or at the very least, he's in self-doubt mode where there's like, no way. I mean, there's a part of him that might suspect that, like, yeah, maybe something, but, like, kid,
Right.
no.
I think your friend is in some big trouble. I think you're about to be.
Looks around the office and just kind of mumbles under his breath. Yeah, it looks that way. Well, if you've been watching him and me, you know I was not involved and don't know anything about anything.
Where is he? He says.
It's a really good question. Let me know when you find out.
He does something that is especially not appropriate here. While you're chained up and in your seat, he hooks you. Right hook, right across the face.
He just apologizes. Yeah, okay,
All you got is a bloody lip off of it.
better choice of words, gotcha.
You son of a bitch. He looks like he's escalating real quick, and then you see the door open and his partner comes in. She's like, whoa, 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 I thought. She kind of goes over to him. She's like, you're waiting for me. Why are you in here? He's like, he storms off. He's like, forget it. And as he kind of leaves, she walks past you.
And Vince tries to do his best to wipe his face and cheek off on his arm. I'm assuming I'm handcuffed to the table, so it's however awkward that is. And it's I don't know anything about what's happened, but I do know that Kyle didn't kill no kid.
She reaches into her pocket. She has a handkerchief and she passes it your way. Your lip.
You're usually only handcuffed to one side.
Yeah, exactly. So you could wipe it. You're stuck from being able to get up and leave, but your hands aren't bound behind your back or anything.
You're usually handcuffed to the
I
table.
assumed it was
by one
the
hand.
loop on the table, and
Yeah.
it's the cuffs are between them, so it's both hands are effectively
No.
on the table.
No, that's not how that usually works.
It's minimal restraint, right? Because right now you wouldn't be in this room if you were already guilty or believed or being charged, right? So they don't really effectively have you beyond the initial arrest at this point.
Okay, well, he takes it and gives her an appreciative, cheers kind of thing with it, and holds it up.
Listen, I'm sure if you saw what we did tonight, you'd have a different perspective, but I need you to tell me where he's at.
I got no idea.
He could kill again,
I doubt that, but doesn't change the fact that I don't know where he is. Couldn't get a hold of him when I got off.
Do you know any places he goes? Anywhere he goes when he's got nowhere else to go?
No, I've kind of tried to keep that stuff distant. I can't see him ever going back to his mom's place, but shit would have to be pretty damn bad.
We've already checked there. It's the first place we start.
Then I really can't help you. He kind of hand shrugs.
She sighs. She'll turn around and she'll walk out. Not storm off like he did. She just walks out. You can no, you can't see them.
Gonna say as she's leaving and the door's closing, he says, "You can just stick with the good cop routine. That'll get you more."
With that, she leaves. No, she'll pause, I think, when you say that. She says, That isn't what this is. Everyone reacts differently to these things. And, but I'm not making excuses. He did what he did.
And he just gives a very non-convinced, yeah. Goes back to just wiping his lip.
Okay.
Nursing his face.
Okay, we're gonna cut back to Hitchcock here. We're gonna go to Mel.
Okay.
It's time to see a little bit more about what's going on with Mel.
Okay. I think you last left off with me driving to the precinct.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna give you the detective that's working with you on this case. So it's taken you, like all night, basically, to get a hold of anyone. So Detective Ernesto Cornish is who's been working with you.
Okay.
It took, like, your patience is probably worn pretty thin at this point. Let me just check one more thing. So Ernesto comes in. He says, you're sitting there patiently waiting. He says, I have some good news. I think we managed to pull a plate from the footage.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Oh, did you figure out who the owner of the plates are?
We did. We'll be following up on it. We should have some information to you by the next couple of days.
Well, I appreciate this. If you get any more information on this, please let me know. I have a job to get to later today, so I really gotta get going. This client's pretty... It's a big paying thing, so I appreciate all this.
Yeah, no problem. We just need you to fill out a little bit more paperwork. I'm going to bring you back into the lobby. I'll bring you to it. I just need you to fill this out, and this will make sure that we have all the appropriate information and that the case is moved forward to the right place, if that's all right with you.
Oh, that's no problem. I'm just trying to get this book back, I'm whatever I have to do.
This guy, you sense this guy hasn't been really dragging his feet. Like, this guy is certainly motivated. Not particularly towards your case, but he's just a very, very good professional.
I just really appreciate a good, hardworking, well-meaning police officer. I know you see all those stories on the news and whatnot. Thank you so much for helping with this.
Yeah, anytime.
And I'll fill out the paperwork.
Okay. And we're gonna cut back over to Vincent. Are you still there, Quinn?
Yeah.
Okay. After a little bit longer, she walks back in. She says, you had the weapon on you, but our witnesses have already said that our key suspect, well, is the one that we believe was originally in possession of it. So we're going to go ahead and release you.
Also keep in mind your witnesses saw your key suspect put it in my car.
That's right. We're going to go ahead and let you go, but don't go anywhere. We might need to be in touch.
Well, you'll find me either at home, in bed, or at work. Maybe the park.
She smiles at that. Almost like a relatable equation for her. All right. And then I'm assuming you're walking out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he also will hand her back the hanky or whatever he gave her.
Okay. Now, I'm going to consult with you guys a little bit here. As you're walking out, I want the two of you to be not entirely strangers, just not people that are friends.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, what would have... Because I'm not sure your ages would line up, but let's figure out some kind of like past interaction where you would have been mild acquaintances of some sort.
I work at a fast food restaurant that gets a lot of people coming and going. You could be a regular.
Okay, I like that idea.
Yeah,
I
so
love me some, indulgence.
it's probably like 6:30 in the morning at this point, or maybe 7 in the morning, and as you're passing out, not passing out, as you're walking past, out of the place, Vincent, you see Mel filling out paperwork. Both of you look absolutely exhausted, like you've been up forever here.
This is probably my early evening respective time because it's night shift. But
A2, Vincent. A2.
You hear a familiar voice and see the familiar face.
he kind of like stops and doubles back. Oh, hey.
L.
Yeah. Vince is not going to call you the name he knows you by. Is like probably double quarter pounded with cheese, extra fries, and a Diet Coke.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you calling me by my actual name. You guys might think I don't hear you back there.
No, Vincent probably doesn't even know your other names.
No, and I
Just say hey, and just kind of trails off. Doesn't call you about what he actually does.
Hmm.
Coincidence seeing you here?
Yep. I got a pretty important book to me stolen from me, so... What about you?
A lot worse than that. A lot worse than that. And you can probably see, like, his good chunk of his chin and cheek are brightly glowing red. Probably not quite bruised yet, but...
You know, I never took you for the fighting type.
Oh yeah, my face damages so many fists.
Oh, well, what all do you got planned for today then?
At this point, nothing else. I'm getting to bed.
Understandable.
Well, scratch that. Long shower first, then bed.
I have to be back at work after this.
Yeah, I just got scooped up after work, so...
Hey, I mean, at least it was, end of the night, you weren't fully in bed yet.
Take it you were?
Yeah. Got woken up by a nightmare, then found out this book was stolen, and led into this nightmare, so...
Yeah.
It has been a night.
Bureaucracy, tell me about it.
I'm pretty ticked off, because this thing is supposed to be, like, worth quite a bit.
Well, things that get stolen generally are worth quite a bit.
Yeah.
So at this point, your detective comes back out. What was his name? Just named him. What was it?
His was Ernesto.
Cornish. Yeah, Detective Ernesto comes back out, and he hands you. No, never mind. Sorry, I was mixing something. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to pause this for a second here.
How old is Mel?
He's 25.
Okay. So also decently younger guy.
Yeah. Young adult.
It's more, that's about the same age. I might even be a little bit older than...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's probably about the same age as Vince. Picture I have has him, probably looks like a young 30s guy, but screw it. Mid-20s works.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll leave you guys to maybe discuss anything else you want to for a second. I imagine you can say that you're done at whatever point you want, Mel.
I'm curious as to what school you went to, Vincent.
He'll list off of whichever random high school downtown.
Would it have matched up with mine?
Yeah, what are your guys' age?
We're around the same age, apparently.
Yeah, I think that would be a good thing to make happen then. If you're I imagine is Vincent slightly older than Mel, or the other way around, or
Mel's slightly older.
Okay.
By like 2 years or
a year or two at best.
So, I think it's safe to say. I don't know if you guys would have been in the same crowd or not, but you definitely.
It depends. What kind of crowd were you? What people did you hang out with, Vincent?
All sorts. I mean, he's very much an artsy kid, so that kind at least, very sure. But
I've probably been in a few of your arts classes. I know we didn't really hang out with the same crowds per se, but you know, I think you were in one of my art classes.
Oh,
at one point,
possible.
it was an elective.
I was only in all of them, so. So you should, and he kind of like does the theatrical stage whispers. You should be careful about saying you know me from school, though. That's apparently a suspect type around here. There's a little bit derogatory that he says this. A little bit of a sneer going on.
Wait, were you friends with that? Oh, what was his name? Kyle or whatever?
You definitely should stop talking now.
Ah, okay. So that's why you're here.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Well, I hope that gets sorted. I'm gonna hopefully get to work on time and finish that day without being too tired. So I'm gonna head out now. I hope.
Good luck. You don't need a lift, do you? Wait, Vincent probably doesn't have his own car here, does he?
Probably not. Do you need a
No,
lift?
you don't. In fact, you would probably just realize that now. Do you need a lift? Oh wait, I didn't drive.
Wait,
Desk officer. I think I need a lift. Where's my car?
Wait, would I have heard that on my way out?
I'm probably standing right next to you. He's like, "Do you need a lift?" Oh, fuck. No, I probably need a lift, and he starts trying to flag down anyone like immediately.
You're good. You're good. I got you. I don't know if I work for a few more hours now. Where do you need to go?
I don't know, wherever they take in my car, probably.
Well,
There's probably like a nearby impound, right? It's because it was the side of the road. They would have had to.
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna put that into the GPS and start driving down that way.
I guess it was real convenient meeting someone there at least. Thanks for the lift.
And the fates work in mysterious ways.
Perception roll, both of you, please.
I maybe make it. Perception is 6. I rolled a 6.
I have perception at 6 or 4. So that is a 7 and a 6. So.
Alright, give me 1 minute. I'm just gonna think, and while I do that, I'm gonna also eat some food while it's warm and mute myself.
Orbs.
Yeah.
Yum.
Feel free to chat out of character if you guys want.
Yeah, what kind of car are we riding in right now?
It is a old school, like, Beetle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is it in good shape, or is it just utterly...
No, it's in really good shape. This is, like, my pride and joy outside of my garden.
So it's not like high school kid car that's just
No.
full of fucking garbage clothes and
No.
empty.
Like, I take care of this car. Like, it might be filled a bit with, like, old books and stuff, but other than that, no.
Well, it's gonna smell like deep fryer for the next couple hours.
That's fine. I wouldn't be going to your place if I didn't mind the smell of the food. Although
there's a difference between the food itself smelling good and like the grease the day after.
No, yeah, as someone who had a sister who had to work 2 jobs to finish nursing, I get that.
I've never actually done fast food stuff, but I've had friends and siblings of friends that have had that and picking them up from work and stuff, and it's like, yup, that's a unique smell.
My brother worked at Jimmy John's for the longest time, and he swore it off. He couldn't eat it after he worked there. The smell was just.
Yeah, I can absolutely understand that. It's not my case, because, well, like I've said, I've never had such things, but I've worked in kitchens, but not fast food kitchens, so I'm good. I've also just thought of a thing. Vince is going to remember your name partway through this car ride and go, all right, you're that weird kid.
True. Yeah.
Take either inflection that you want on that. Because, it being your name.
Yeah, he probably got it after... because this is something that I'm really good at, is any kind of, luck-based game. So he probably got it after winning an ungodly amount of Lucky Streak.
Oh, that must be a convenient real-life skill to have. I've got just terrible luck with games and stuff like this.
My sister is the opposite, though.
9 times out of 10, I will just roll absolutely shit in everything. And then the one day I'm good, I am on fire. But
it's honestly, it's a blessing from my grandpa, because his favorite thing was bingo. He loved all those games. He was very big into them. And I always loved the card games, the board games, whatever. Those were my favorite things. And after he went, that's when my luck on all that really increased. In real life too. So I
don't know how I am in real life, really. I've never really paid too much attention to it. I just know these online dice rollers and stuff just generally hate me. But
well, there's a trick to them, especially in the D&D ones. If you're repeating ones, you're dice locked, because this game does have it's not a full-on randomizer, it's a generator. So if you reset the page, refresh the page, it'll reset that.
I did not know that.
I don't know if that's still a thing on here, but I know for the longest time that's how you could fix your rolls. Not necessarily fix, but just stop them from keeping on getting ones.
Yeah, it's another one of the people I play with. She's kind of a more stable version of me. She generally rolls pretty bad, but lots of maximums. Half of her dice will be maximums, but she also, the other half is minimums for a lot of things. So it's just an on-running joke. It's which way is her luck swinging for this particular roll?
It's either all up or all down.
Yep. It's well, you rolled 1 success. You've got 5 10s, but you rolled 1 success because you also rolled 4 1s. Because it's just how the dice work in World of Darkness stuff. That's mostly what I play, but
got really into the idea of probability in high school, so I did a whole just a whole bunch of study into the math of it all. And so that's how I know a lot about the stuff on the Roll20 computer system and whatnot. And then also other generators and whatnot, and dice rolls and the probability there.
I know a bit of that kind of stuff. I was always kind of a math kid, but I didn't delve into probabilities and stuff specifically. but me and a bunch of my friends did go through a very big poker phase several years ago. So like all the pot odds and stuff.
See, I've always been appealed. I've been into dice stuff, but I've never really got into D&D until like late 20s, early 20s. So it was but I didn't really get to use any of it until I moved out. Hometown just did not have all the options I needed for resources as well. So
yeah, I don't even remember when I started doing all my online gaming and stuff. It's been a lot of years now. I want to say it's probably been going on 10 years or more.
See, I know I started out at a comic shop down here in Iowa, but then I moved over to online once COVID hit, because I found out about Roll20, and I prefer Roll20, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I've never actually found anyone on Roll20. It's always I have my group of people that I know from elsewhere, and it's just they were doing a thing on Roll20 because it's just a great interface.
It's an amazing system that I wish, Anyways, I want to find more groups because I just lost one of mine because the DM ended up kind of self-exploding himself and trying to find more things to do to fill that void of, dice rolling and role-playing.
Yeah, I usually find communities on Discord, and they'll often have their own servers and stuff, and they got lots of them have like looking for group or looking for game or looking for players kind of channels, and I just generally look around for a couple of those things. In the very seldom chances I've needed things, it hasn't had to resort to that for a couple of years now. But
all right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we'll continue. I got you to roll perception just before I stopped, right?
Yes.
And were they passes for you guys?
Maybe. I rolled a 6 and my perception is 6, so I don't know if there's a skill tied with that. Then yes.
I rolled, let's see, on the dice roll I rolled 7, and on the check digit it was 6. I have 4 in perception.
So you failed real hard.
You failed. I mean, it makes sense. You're busy driving.
Plus, my character has notoriously been oblivious this session.
My check digit's 5, so if I succeeded really good. But
you did. You're being followed. Both of you realize, or not both of you, sorry, Vincent. You realize that you're being followed. You look back and you're like, "Huh? Isn't that the car that was?" You're kind of having to drive across town to get to the impound. That's how it always works. It's like can't be near the place that's impounding you.
Yeah, Vincent just kind of sees that, lets out a groan and sighs. Man, I'm sorry. Told you shouldn't have been talking about knowing me and shit. It looks like we're being followed by those same cruisers that pulled me over. So, you're on their radar now.
Can I look and see which car is it?
Yep. So you see an older car, but it's like well kept together. It's probably from the 90s, but it looks newer than that for whatever reason. It is more of a town car, I guess would be. Let me think of. Is that the model, the Lincoln, right? So it'd be oh, definitely don't want that.
We're talking ghost car here, not cop cruiser.
I will pull one up for you.
Hopefully it's actually me they're following, and once you actually drop me off, they'll leave you alone.
Well, I gotta be honest, the thing I lost, or was stolen from me, was pretty pricey itself. So honestly, it could be after either one of us at this point.
I realize there's no clean way to send this.
Just pop it in the Discord. Or just drag the picture onto Roll20. It'll be an inflated view, but you just delete it a second later.
Will that work?
Yeah, it loads it up as a kind of a makeshift token. You might have to save it to your...
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Because if that's... I don't know what the lady that I'm working for drives, now that I come to think about it, but that's a nice car. I doubt your friend Kyle has anything close to that kind of nice. I don't mean to, but...
No, that's the detectives that pulled me over and arrested me.
Sure.
Pretty sure. I mean, I guess we'll find out if they get close enough that I can see faces, because I'm assuming I can't see a reflection.
No. You see a guy get out at this point, and he starts moving to the driver's side door, just like your most recent experience. You can give me another perception roll. This one's going to be a +1 difficulty.
Both of us?
Yes.
+1.
Oh no!
That's a hard no for Vincent, but it's actually, I think, a yes.
Hard, yes, for...
Actually...
Why does that say 0?
That's weird. Oh, that's a bug.
It said 0 for something he rolled before, too, but that was like a 14 or something, so I...
I'm just gonna see if maybe it's a plus. I'm just gonna test it real quick.
Maybe I only had to press...
Yeah, don't add the plus symbol, just add the 1.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll take your number. That's gonna be a fail anyways. I think what this is, it's the sun shining in both your guys' eyes, right? As he approaches.
And passing traffic.
Yeah. And as he gets to your window, to the driver's side window, you got to roll down, or?
It's one of the cranks. This is an old, like, AW Beetle.
Yeah.
Oh.
And remind me, does the Beetle even have...
Let me show you.
Does it have 4 doors or 2? Is it 2?
It is a 2-door, if I remember.
There were versions of both.
Yeah.
I think the common one was the 2-door. They were smaller, but 4 doors do exist.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe 4 doors don't, but 3 doors, which is effectively the same thing. But
which model do you want? 4, 2?
The 4-door.
Okay. So you got to crank down, the window crank down?
Mm-hmm.
He looks to you and says, license and registration, please.
We'll pull out license and registration. I just got out of the police station, but okay. And I will hand it to him, and...
As you go to reach for the glove box, you feel something cold on the back of your head, and you hear a click. Obviously, Quinn, you can... your character Vincent can see the gun that's being held to the back of Mel's head.
like from the back seat?
Nope.
Or is this the cop?
Yeah, the cop as he turns to reach for the glove box. Out comes a gun that was in his hand that you couldn't see.
Whoa. Little bit of an overreaction there, don't you think, Detective?
We need to talk. Open your back door.
Okay, and I will flick the thing so it's unlocked.
Now he's gonna go very carefully, gun still trained at you, and try to get in the back door with his other hand.
Is it just him this time, or is his partner with him?
It's not the same guy.
Oh.
We're gonna say that's kind of like the gun to the head is kind of where you get the first clean. Like it's one of those things where you couldn't see, and so you assumed, it's the same guy, and he's just trailing us. And
now, do you want me to just drive normally, or what's the play here, bud?
Yeah. At the moment he gets in, he says, "Start driving."
Gotcha. And I will start driving.
Just checking one thing here.
So
There's something in this guy's eyes. I think, Quinn, you would be quick to notice. Like, he just looks a little unwell.
Beyond the edge.
Yeah.
is there something specific that you wanted? Which one of us is this concerning? Because we both kind of got something going on with the cops right now.
And is the gun on Mel or Vincent?
It's trained on Mel right now, and that's because I think as you start to drive Mel, the gun will shift over to Vincent at that point.
Okay, so Vincent doesn't need to say the thing then. Vincent, for the record, though, is sitting like sideways in his seat so he can keep his eye back at this guy.
That's fine.
Like he's straight up watching him.
You, he's not concerned. He says, "Where's the knife?" And he says, looking right at Vincent.
The knife?
Fuck if I know. Back at the precinct, probably.
He sighs. God damn it. So they found it then.
Okay, can I ask what's going on? I'm just trying to find my book. What's up with this knife?
Apparently there's a dead kid. I told you mine was bigger.
Yeah, that... Honestly, like... All I knew about Kyle was he was shady and that I probably shouldn't hang around him. But I had to take him for the kid killer type. I guess you don't take anyone for that right away.
Yeah, I still
It's
don't.
always the normal ones that always end up the psychopaths, huh?
You're both useless. He's just grunting to himself. You see him rocking back and forth. He's kind of got his hand in his head. He's still got the gun trained out, but he is losing focus for a minute.
In my book bag, I'm going to grab my rake. It's like a little small hand rake.
Okay.
And I'm going to slam it into his face. Or into his side.
Okay.
Vincent's probably gonna be like, oh shit, and like dive for the wheel or something as the driver suddenly lets go and turns around.
Oh, my book bag's at my feet, so I'm just grabbing down with one hand there. On the wheel.
Okay, just give me a D66 roll and don't get a huge failure.
Okay, D66.
As long as the check digit isn't 6, you're good to go. Like 6 and a fail. I mean, 7 and a 4. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's going to realize too late that you're attacking. So I'm going to give you a surprise round, and then we'll go into initiative from there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how does attacking work?
Okay. So you're using, I assume this would be like a small improvised weapon? Would be the
Yeah.
Flip open the skills. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but I don't think you have small or improvised weapons listed on your dude, right? Don't think I listed you as a fighter just because of the mundane side of the thing.
Yeah, what?
So we'll count this as a small weapon. So it's going to be harder, right? You're going to add 2 to the difficulty and make it dex roll. So it's going to be incredibly hard for you. But I am going to give you a +1 for the element of surprise. So it's going to be... I think in this case, it's going to be... I'm going to give you more than a +1 for the element of surprise. I'm going to give you a +3 for the element of surprise. So your total thing is you should just be adding a 1 difficulty.
Yeah, he was like head down and covered and stuff too.
Yeah.
Vincent's probably at this point, if Mel is actually maintaining control of the vehicle, Vincent's probably not going to die for that. Go for a gun grab instead.
Oh, boy.
But that'll be initiative action probably.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So luckily, getting a bad roll like that doesn't mean more in this. Like the check digit matters more than how bad you roll those dice. I think what this is you're in that position where it's just very hard for you to reach back and still steer. So you got to reach back and you overcompensate, and the whole car kind of swings wide a little bit. And I think with that, we'll go into initiative round.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to pull open a token for this dude just because it seems appropriate.
This is like the most awkward combat scene I think I have been in any game. While actively driving down the road, the driver is fighting someone in the back seat with a gun.
Should be fine.
This couldn't possibly go bad for Vincent, who is the one the gun was pointed at.
It should be fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
So let God take the wheel.
At this point, realistically, the safest move for me is to jump out of the car. Just bail.
It depends what way we're like careening left or right, because I mean, one way you'd be liable to get sideswiped.
Still less damage than getting shot in the head.
Fair enough, but I mean, with the car moving, he's off center too. You know, he could hit slower.
Give me a second.
I gotta say, I like the system in this with just 3 simple dice, and that's it. That's real easy.
And a smaller group is also like helps with the RP, especially for this first half.
Oh yeah. And being mundane also makes this super easy in comparison to. I think the biggest challenge with this is that there's that risk that, like, if you're trying to bring people up to speed on, say, Vampire, the worst thing you do is let them be really old as a new player. Because then they have to not only know
all the lore, but
yeah, they need to know at least enough to make it seem realistic, and that can be pretty bad. So I think it's the same thing here. Starting out as a mundane, best thing you can do your first time playing Vampire ever, either start as a brand new Embrace, there's no idea what they are, or start as a mortal and go through the process
That's what we did. We all had our own turning scene, and we're 11th generation, I believe.
In my opinion, that's the best one for first time through. But I also understand, like, some people don't want to go through that. That's quite the process, right? Some people
but it's fun.
For particularly experienced people. It's also, there's some concepts that it just doesn't work for.
Yeah.
Mostly does, though.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the way I'd rather go, and is the way that it never does go, because most STs and stuff are like, yeah, let's just skip all of that boring stuff and get right into, you've been doing this for like 10 years and go.
Which I think is fine if you've had players that have played a bunch, sort of like skipping the beginning section of
skip game. Tutorial?
Yeah,
yes.
Almost, right? I was reluctant to say that because it's more than a tutorial. It can actually be a strong narrative device as well. Like, it's not.
I think I prefer the newly turned, not knowing anything, to be personal, especially for something like that, because there's going to be a lot of confusion and not knowing of certain things. Adds for more intrigue and mystery onto what's going on.
For sure. Okay, so we're rolling we're rolling the D666, and you're testing against your actually, hold on. I have not done a niche in this game in a long time. This is the kind of game like Vampire where you can run entire sessions without initiative. So
well, I rolled a 616.
Did you?
Yeah.
We just talked about that.
That's why I'm mentioning.
I rolled a 615.
You rolled a 515.
Yes. 515 error code.
I'm just gonna check this out real quick.
I at least have something on my sheet that is labeled as fighting strength, and I have 2 points in that skill, so like maybe I've got something going for me here.
I got the dodge, swimming, driving, detect lies, and survival.
I have cooking knowledge, driving, fast talking, dodge, fighting, and artistry.
Right, there is no initiative in this game. It's just kind of one of those everyone's going at once. So
everyone gives their input and then you translate it into what happens?
Exactly. And we do dice rolls for outcomes. Exactly. Okay, so let's maybe just announce, as players, I'll have you announce first what you're planning to do. Maybe starting with Vincent, since Mel just had the reaction.
I was gonna say, I basically already said what I'm doing. It's like, as Mel does a crazy thing, Vincent's going to take advantage of this distraction and try and grab the gun or the guy's hand or whatever to at least keep it pointed at not us.
Okay. All right, and I think he's going to certainly probably spend his time resisting Vincent this round. Makes sense. And what is Mel doing?
I'm going to hard stop the car.
Okay.
And then, if I can, try and dig that rake into his arm.
Okay. I think you're going to have a hard time doing both. Why don't we do the hard stop thing first? And make a driving roll. A failure just means that it's not providing any bonus, but a success will mean that you're going to provide some disruption to Vincent's role here, like give him some help.
That is the goal.
That you're basically going to be sending the gun closer to Vincent. So
Listen, either it flies out of his hand or something.
Please say 7 is good. Please be really good at driving.
what's your precision?
5.
And what's your driving?
2.
There you go. You pass. Just barely, but it's gonna.
Or did you have to tie? I thought you had to be lower.
No, you just have to tie.
Perfect.
So the gun comes towards you, not like superly so, but it also didn't go off in the process. That was the risk of a really bad roll. So Vincent, it's your action. You can make a contested roll against this guy to try and break the gun free. I think at this point I'll allow you fighting of agility or strength.
Both are the same. No modifiers?
Yeah, you get the +1 check digit from Mel. So as he bounds forward a little bit, so you get a -1 to your roll.
Oh, -1? I +1.
Sorry, I didn't mean check digit. I meant dice. So that would have been a 9. What's your fighting and your strength or agility?
Attributes are 5. Fighting is 2.
Oh, so 7?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if there's any like dominant outcome from him. If not, it'll just be more like both, are failing to take control kind of thing.
Slamming on the brakes affects me too.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a gardener. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I was expecting to have a nice, peaceful night of reading.
Apparently a little unhinged. Your first reaction is stab a guy.
I am Mel Weird. My character is known for doing the most out-of-pocket shit.
And let me do.
He's not the most sane.
I'm definitely rolling real high though.
So pull this in so I can use this picture the next time properly. So call him crazy guy for now. It's appropriate. He rolled low, so I think he's gonna maintain the gun. I think what this looks like is he's broken free of Vincent's entanglement. Almost kind of sends Vincent backwards in a push, and
Retrains on me.
yeah, starts to retrain on you. But we'll go to round 2 for the retraining part because that was just enough. That was enough for one round. So we'll give you guys your actions.
Yeah. I'm going to I'm going to continue to try and stab that rake into his arm.
Okay.
Try and disable it.
And Vincent is going to duck down in the seat and unbuckle himself and grab the lever to lean the seat back.
Okay, so you're gonna try to put the seat on him, pin him, kind of thing.
Hmm.
If I can manage that, yes, but otherwise it's making an avenue for me to get to him next turn.
Okay, well, let's see how the check digit works out for that. And then I think he's I think his action is pending how these two go, and it's basically just, well, I'll share it in a bit. So why don't you two go ahead and act? Oh, that's good. So you rake him for 2 with the weapon. And then your fighting was a total of 7, right? So didn't you succeed as well, Vincent?
If this is a fighting roll, then yes.
Yeah, it's a fighting roll. I'm going to give his contested fighting roll. Just to see how he's doing. One, so you pin him. You pin him with the seat, and you rake him with the rake. He's like, ah. Check digit of 1. I don't think he's dropped the gun, but I think his arm's like held out, like it's like stuck out because of the rake. He tries to pull it back. Next round.
I'm going to dig the rake, trying to tussle it towards the side. Like, since it's into there, I'm going to try and pull his arm to the side, out of the way of Frendo's face, hopefully doing some damage there.
Okay.
So the gun's driver's side away from me then?
Yeah.
What's your intention, Vincent?
I'm definitely going to be diving back there at this guy. If he's got the guns already being gone for, I'll effectively be getting in the way of that if I try and go for it. So I'll go for this guy's face, cover his eyes, or chin bar him or something so he can't see what he's doing.
Some sort of grappling.
Yeah.
Okay. When you guys give me your respective fighting rolls, I think he's gonna try to deal with Vincent, who's the bigger problem right now. Start wrestling with him here.
Okay.
Success with a check digit 1 for Vincent. And then did you roll already?
I'm doing that now. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Both
one.
Right?
I believe so.
Alright. Now for his roll. Oh, he's still successful, but I think what it looks like, Vincent, is this guy can fight. You definitely pick up on that. And he's actually quite strong. He just barely starts to regain his control. He starts to push your seat up back out of place. And he breaks free of your hold. But he is raked by Mel again.
The only reason we got a chance is because there's 2 of us going at him.
All right, next round. Let's keep it fast-paced. I think it's fun. Mel, what are you doing?
I'm going to to dig it in further, I guess.
Okay.
I'm gonna regret this in character, try and attach it to the seed by digging it through his arm and into the seed.
Okay.
Did either of us by chance happen to grab a drink or coffee or something from the precinct, or is there something in this car? Probably not. You said it's already pretty clean and immaculate. Looking for something basically just tossed back there.
I probably would have got a coffee.
Yeah. I think this time, Mel, just the struggle between the two, it's you're not able to easily reach over and get him, so you can't continue to put your pressure in to try and hug it to the seat.
Yeah, Vince is reaching for something to throw back at this guy and just basically disrupt him that way, but he's also, if he can, because I was trying to dive in the back, my body position is probably weird. If I can get my foot onto the steering wheel to blare the horn, basically just draw attention to this car.
Uh-huh.
If there already isn't, seeing as we just skidded to a stop in this street.
Yeah, I really hope someone's calling the police.
Okay. And then Vincent, you're doing what again with the actual attack against the crazy guy?
Splashing hot drink in his face.
So you're doing it'd be like a throwing weapon. That's kind of what I'm doing. But it's improvised. I'm not going to give you any penalty for that. You're just doing a precision or agility roll.
Definitely be agility, because that is more than double my precision. My agility is 5.
There you go.
So, there we go.
I think you catch him, and 3 is kind of blinded by I think he's gonna try and pistol whip Vincent at this point.
It's better than getting shot, so...
And he misses. Swings wide. So we got the guy blinded and slightly injured.
So if he just swung wide, can I play off of that and try and use my seatbelt to wrap up his arm so he can't pull it back and control his gun?
Yeah, you can try and do that. What do you want to do, Mel?
I'm going to, at this point, utterly frustrated and in a state of life or death, I'm going to rip out the rake and aim for his neck. Because this guy's clearly trying to kill us.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll, both of you. Ooh, it's a big hit. And that's a success, Vincent. But let's see. He's going to contest Vincent because obviously Vincent's wrestling with him. And
nice!
So Vincent, you bind his hand with the gun up front. And Mel manages to stab him in a way where you hook the end of the rake into the car. So,
I was aiming for his neck.
Oh, right, you were. Sorry, I forgot you changed your action.
That was last time.
Yeah.
Last time he was being nice.
Yeah.
This time, fuck this guy.
Well, this time I said, nah, we ain't fucking around anymore.
Okay. A 6. Let's see. I think it's gonna. The car is stopped, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna actually pierce his neck, and he's gonna make a sound, almost like a struggling to breathe sound. At this point, he drops the gun, and we'll go into the next round.
Is he dying in the back seat now?
Hard to say.
I'm going to call an ambulance. That's my action.
So you're gonna grab for your phone?
Is the rake stuck in this guy's neck, or did you just slash him? And
It's stuck in there. I'm not taking it out because that'd cause more bleeding than.
Okay. Yeah, Vincent will freak out and swear a bunch, and get back there and actually try and help this guy, cup the hands, squeeze, just pressure, be shh, what the fuck, and try and basically staunch bleeding or whatever.
Did you want to get shot in the head? Because I wasn't gonna let us just that was... What was I supposed to do? We were being assaulted.
Give me 1 second.
By a cop. Maybe.
He's clearly not a cop. And if he was, we have all the right in our side. There's cameras all over on the streets. Everything he did was caught. It wasn't like we're out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm calling I'm calling him an ambulance. Now, if you would please not take that out, because otherwise he's likely to bleed out faster.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Okay, so what are you doing with him while this is happening?
That depends what he's doing.
He lays down and he begins to mutter to himself.
And I'm not doing much. I'm just trying to make sure he's not dying as best I can with the pretty much zero knowledge I have of such things.
Mel, what are you doing? You're calling the ambulance, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I might maybe have some first aid training if I'm got one of a couple people on a night shift crew. But generally, you have to have someone with first aid on such things. But
Yeah, I'm
that could also very much be Rhonda and supervisor's position, so it might not be me.
Okay. We're gonna give Vincent a perception roll as he's kind of close, trying to help out.
Nope. Guy's bleeding everywhere, man. We're getting real close to triple sixes, though.
You hear him like it's almost like a tune or him in what he's muttering. And then all of a sudden you just see the wound on his neck close back up.
That's got him, like, kind of as much as he can, like, jumping backwards, like, what the fuck?
He's gonna spring for the door of the car and try to leave. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a chance to react to that.
Yeah, Vincent's gonna not try and stop that from happening.
Well, the rake's still on his neck, correct?
Yeah.
I'm going to grab it.
Okay.
And try and keep him in place.
Okay. Just give me a strength roll, but you can add like a -2 modifier to it. Oof.
-2, not +2.
Oh. I always forget if it's...
So that would have been a 6.
Yeah.
What is your strength and, let's say, fighting?
My strength is 2. I have no fighting.
Okay. Yeah, I think in this case he's going to break free. I think you're going to be holding onto the rake still.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's still going to... Why don't you give me a d6 for damage? Or actually, you already did the check digit 6. That's how much damage he took from it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you see him roll out of the car. Blood kind of sprays a bit as the actual rake comes free of what looked like almost a wound that healed around it. So it was like re-stabbing him in a way.
Mm-hmm.
He rolls out of the car, and you see all of a sudden like this blur of motion, and he takes off like a vehicle would, like the speed of a vehicle, running back in the direction you guys came from.
So we could agree that that's not normal, right? That none of this is fucking normal.
Yeah, Vincent's still, like, back climbing and probably has opened the door and, like, fallen out onto the sidewalk or the street or whatever. It's like crab walking away from the car and a little bit of it, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. All right.
What's that? would... Do you think that was some kind of... What the fuck was that?
That's what I've been saying.
Because that clearly wasn't a cop. We could both agree on that now, right?
Yeah, sure. Did this guy book it on foot, or did he head back to the car that he came in?
Well, you guys were driving with him for a while, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And he ran at the speed of a car, like supernatural speeds. You see him just take off like a whirlwind down the street.
Is Mel still on the phone?
Yeah, that's a good question.
After that whole... Like, I immediately hung up after that.
Okay.
This guy just healed over all his wounds.
This is the time where you stay on the call with 911.
What would I say? This guy mysteriously healed himself and dipped as fast as a car on foot? You think they believe that? Listen, my last name might be weird, but like... This is supernatural weird!
Vince is, I guess, is pulling out his phone. It's in a little bit of frustration and like fumbling with it. He's going to be making a 911 call.
Okay. I think we can go ahead and close there for this session.
Leave at a good cliffhanger.
Yeah, leave a good cliffhanger. If we go to do this again, then that gives us a good spot. Thanks for joining, guys. Anything you wanted to add before we close?
No, I think this was a really great system and a fun setting. I'm excited to get more into it.
Yeah, I hope that happens.
Yeah, so, what time did we start last time? 4-ish?
I think it's been about 5 hours since I originally started getting PMs.
Yeah,
but we did not start
preparation
immediately.
process. Yeah, it was like probably a 3-hour session or 2-hour session. 3 hours probably. Actually, yeah. I can check. I went live 2 hours and 51 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So, just short of 2 hours, or sorry, just short of 3 hours. All right. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I just want to know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can figure more out about that. So one thing I was showcasing is, I always try to experiment with projects like this to see what else I can do with it. I was using the Mythic GM emulator to help me figure out what the story and setting looked like, using it like Oracle tables to help guide what I was doing and figure out what was occurring. So those were
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I assumed you were doing that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. Feel free to watch the stream. I'll send you guys links. It'll also be up on the boob tubes. So.
So I will. So are you guys free then next week sometime?
Yeah, I think
to continue this.
I think let's hold on. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna close.